On the menu when the Mai Kai opened in 1956 was the Barrel O Rum, and it would go on to be one of the most well-known cocktails from the Mai Kai. This version of the rum barrel was of course created by Mariano Licudine, and according to AtomicGrog.com, the Barrel O Rum mug is the most popular and most sold mug in the gift shop. Now, I do not have that mug, and I refuse to buy it third-party online, and even if the Mai Kai one day did sell this mug online, I would not buy it. I will only buy this in person after consuming said Barrel O Rum. So instead, when the Mai Kai runs out of barrels to serve people in, they use a snifter. Now, according to Jim Hurricane Hayward, in the past, you could have ordered a grandfather barrel, which would have included premium rums. You could have got a coconut barrel with a flavored coconut rum, and you can even still get one with vodka, tequila, or bourbon. The vodka version is named the Rainbow Barrel because when you finally get to the end of the Rainbow Barrel, you'll be filled with regret and disappointment and an overall realization that you just wasted your time. Not even a pot of gold will fill you with the emptiness left in your soul from consuming a vodka barrel. Now, I made most of that up, but they do have a Rainbow Barrel with vodka, and why they do that, I don't know. Like most recipes from the Mai Kai, they are shrouded in mystery and secrets. Beachbum Berry did share the recipe in Taboo Table, and it's for the most part an equal parts drink. Now, that would make you a fine rum barrel, but instead I want to make the Atomic Grog's tribute recipe. There is no more extensive review of Mai Kai cocktails in the Atomic Grog, and Jim Hurricane Hayward has gone to great lengths over the years of perfecting the dark Jamaican rum blend for this drink. I am pretty much going to follow this recipe exactly, or the best that I can, but this is one of those cocktails where we should walk through each and every ingredient. We need to prepare for this one. First, Angostura bitters. All right, you get that. That's the easy one. Next is going to be allspice dram, and it's just half a teaspoon. Now, if you want to be a little more historically accurate, you could do half a teaspoon of Dawn Spices No. 2, which is half allspice dram, half vanilla syrup. In this volume of cocktail, I don't know if it's going to make that big of a difference, and to kind of make things easier, since you're going to need so many ingredients, I'm just going to use allspice dram. Next up is orange juice, and the Mai Kai uses orange juice from Florida, which I don't have, and they get their juices daily from Kennesaw. While fresh, it's not freshly squeezed at the bar. Trader Joe's orange juice is the best orange juice I can buy, and it's better than any fresh orange juice from oranges I can get, and I'll die on that hill. The only thing different from this than the Kennesaw, in terms of actually like the texture of it, is that the Kennesaw is going to have some pulp. So if you have an orange juice that has a little bit of pulp to it, that's your favorite orange juice, that's what you want to use for this. Next up is grapefruit juice, and white grapefruit juice is called for, but since I live in Northern California and I don't have a time machine, all I have is ruby red. Now you can use a bottled white, which I do have, I keep that frozen on hand, but instead today I'm going to use just fresh ruby red. Next up is lime juice, and it's not just any lime juice. The Mai Kai's lime juice also comes from Kennesaw, and it's a blend of key lime and Persian lime. Now obviously, key limes would be prevalent in Florida, but even before the Mai Kai, many menus from the 30s and 40s, even in California, advertised the use of Acapulco or Mazatlan limes. Those were the Mexican limes or key limes. Now, key limes are more acidic than Persian limes, and Persian limes are the ones you're going to find in the grocery store. They're the basic limes. Now, the flavor between them is a little bit different, but mainly we're talking about acidity. If you don't believe that, try making a side-by-side daiquiri with a key lime versus a Persian lime. The difference is huge. I'll be using a mix of 2 parts Persian lime juice to 1 part key lime juice. Next up is honey mix. Now my honey mix is 50 bricks. That's not an exact ratio of 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. I just adjust it with water to equal 50 bricks. So I like to stick right in the middle for consistency. Next up, we need some passion fruit syrup. There are a lot of passion fruit syrups out there, and I like to make my own most of the time. And I also like the Real brand because it's pretty affordable. Now, I know people talk crap about Real, but you need to try it. Blind taste test it, and then read the ingredients label, and then compare that ingredients label to ones that come in glass jars that are 3 to 4 times more expensive. They're exactly the same. Next up is a white Puerto Rican or Virgin Islands rum. I'm using Don Q, and this is one that you don't really need to think about. It's not providing any flavor, and we actually don't want it to. It's just providing some ABV. Use what you like that's affordable, but don't try to get funky here because then you're going to be playing down our next most important ingredient, which is a Mai Kai dark Jamaican rum blend. This is a whole thing in the Mai Kai universe trying to replace that infamous bottle of Kahala Bay rum. This is the key to the Barrel O Rum and many of the Mai Kai cocktails. Now, Kahala Bay is an ancestor of the Ray and Nephew Dagger Punch rum. Replacing the Kahala Bay rum is a saga in and of itself, and I'd encourage you to dive deeper into that on the Atomic Grog. It's fun to check out all the different variations of what they've been trying to do to replicate it. Luckily, we have several alternatives that Jim has tested out, 2 of which I just tested out last night in rum barrels. Now, Hurricane Hayward has several tiers of blends to choose from, including some with just a single bottle. But in the top tier, he has 3 options. In the past, he was calling for 1 part Smith & Cross to 1 part Eldorado 12. And then some new additions to the tier 1 are 1 part Wray & Nephew White Overproof, 1 part Appleton Signature, and 4 parts Karuba. Now, another addition to the tier is 1 part Lemon Heart 151, 8 parts Karuba. Now, like I said, that Smith & Cross blend has been on the blog for a while now, but the other 2 are newer additions. So last night, I blind taste tested the 2 newer versions, and it was hard to tell a difference at first in drinking the cocktail, but once getting near the bottom of the barrel, when the drink was diluted a little more, there was a clear winner for me. One of them had a more robust rum flavor and was slightly less bitter to me. Now, I made sure there were no other variables. All the juices were pre-mixed and we were using the same juices and same ratios in each barrel. I also tried this with 3 other people who weren't really even into rum or tiki, and it was unanimous. The Wray & Nephew, Appleton Signature, and Karuba was the hands-down winner, and that's what I'm going to be using today. And Mike Hooker's the one who submitted this blend to Hurricane Hayward. So, let's make the Mai Kai's Barrel O Rum. Into a drink mixer tin, I'm going to add 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, half a teaspoon of allspice dram, 1.5 ounces of orange juice, 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice, 1 ounce of the lime juice mix, half an ounce of rich honey mix, 1 ounce of passion fruit syrup, 2 ounces of Don Q, 2 ounces of the Mai Kai Dark Jamaican Rum Blend, and 3/4 ounces of club soda. The amount of Mai Kai barrels, I'm going to use a snifter instead. And I'm going to garnish it just as the Mai Kai does, with only a straw. So there you go, the tribute to the Barrel O Rum from the Mai Kai. All right, let's try it. What is so special about rum barrels, and I think the Mai Kai specifically, and I'm going to steal a term that they used to use on these menus, it's a symphony of flavors. It's not one particular note that you're picking up. It's not like some of the other rum barrels that you can really taste, the pineapple juice or an almond extract, or the rum overwhelms it. It is juicy and rummy. It's not too sweet, and just little hints of that passion fruit. Even I think if you're not a big passion fruit fan, it's more in the background here. But the star of the show is that Jamaican rum blend. It just works so well with everything else in this drink, where you can still taste it. You can still get the dark caramely molasses notes from the rum. And by having a little blend there and upping the proof with the Wray & Nephew White, you're getting not just one note of just Karuba. There's just more complexity to it. I will not be ranking the rum barrels, but I will say that we have a couple more left to go. But even so, if you were only going to have one out of all of these, this would be the one. This is the most iconic rum barrel. Even though it's not the first rum barrel, it has become the most iconic rum barrel for a very good reason. And it's mainly because it's just delicious, and it has everything that you really want in a rum barrel. So you must make this the tribute to the Mai Kai's Barrel O Rum from the atomicgrog.com. That's it for this one. I'm Derek. This is Make and Drink. If you enjoyed this video, go check out the Patreon page for behind the scenes stuff and to support this channel more. Otherwise, just give this video a like below. Comment on this if you've ever had the Barrel O Rum, whether that's been at home or at the Mai Kai. Let me know. I do want to know. I'll see you on the next one.